So we want to talk to you guys today about barriers. Lazy, impatient, inexperienced. These are all words and phrases that are thrown against us by the older generations. I know as a kid growing up, when I was in elementary school, I was dreaming about, being an astronaut, going to the moon. And then when I graduate from high school, all of a sudden it's, let's just get into college, let's just find a job. And somewhere between dreaming of going to the moon and just finding that job, we lose within ourselves this ability that we have to do amazing things. And society is so great at putting up all these barriers in front of us, but what we really need to understand is that these barriers really only exist within our heads. They're not really there. And Jeremy and I are here to talk to you guys about that. This is kind of how we like to think of our generation. So a lot of older generations call us lazy, entitled, inexperienced, uneducated. We like to think of ourselves as generation why not. Okay, so how many of you guys out there taught your parents how to text? How many of you guys out there taught your parents how to use Facebook? Okay, we're the ones growing up with technology, okay? And technology has eliminated so many of these barriers. We really need to take a hold of all this opportunity that we have in front of us. It's not going to be the older generation, okay? Who cares what they're calling us? We know how to use technology. We're already doing it to tackle tomorrow's problems. We don't need to listen to society and the barriers they try and put in front of us. And Jeremy's going to talk to you guys now about a man who did just that.
Thanks, John. So if I say the name to you guys, Steve Jobs, I bet everybody or a majority of you in the room know exactly what I'm talking about. You even probably think of an image in your head of a guy in a black turtleneck, mid-50s, balding, holding up, the next piece of technology or his next revolutionary product that's going to change the world. But the Steve Jobs that you see behind me is not that Steve Jobs. This is the Steve Jobs when it all started. Back in the early 70s, long hair, free-spirited Steve Jobs, just starting out, not knowing exactly where he's headed, building circuit boards in his garage, his parents' garage, in fact, with his friend Steve Wozniak, building a blue box that can make long-distance phone calls, just trying to be a part of technology and where he saw the future going. He didn't care about barriers. He didn't care about any of that. He just wanted to be a part of it, and he was going to start any way that he could. And that's what me and John challenge ourselves to do. That's what we challenge you guys to do, is to start that something, that crazy idea, that big dream. Just go out and do something to start it. Do something to start making it happen, because when you do that, you eliminate the barrier that is yourself. You stop telling yourself you can't. You stop telling yourself how hard it is. And you'll realize that while it takes a lot and there are a lot of steps to getting to that big goal, that big dream, you learn so much along the way. You'll realize how far you get, how far it can take you, what doors can open for you if you only make that phone call, or if you set that first meeting, or you take that first step with a friend and start making something. So I wanted to share with you one more example from Jobs of just that. And when he decided, working out of his parents' garage, to call up the founder of the world's largest computer company, Bill Hewlett, Hewlett-Packard, called him up, left him a message, and said, Bill, this is Steve Jobs. I'm a young kid. I'm just starting out, but I could really use some of those chips you put in your machines. If you could send a couple my way, I'll pay for them and everything, but I could really use those chips for a project I'm doing. And the funny thing is, a couple days later, he gets a call back from the founder of HP, Bill Hewlett. This is when stuff like that happened a little more. There's a phone book. You can look him up. You can call him and leave a message. But he actually got a call back, and he says, Steve, this is Bill, and I'm really impressed with that you just decided to call me up and ask for my product. I'm going to send you those chips. In fact, I'm not only going to send you those chips, but I'll help you with anything else you need, any other parts you need. And the door is always open in the future if you need anything else. Come and see me. If you're working on a project, come show me. So he never knew it at the time, but he was opening the door to a guy who would compete with him 3 decades later. So giving a leg up on the competition, not even realizing it, but you see what happens if you just put yourself out there and you just make that one call, that first call. And so John's going to share with you now about what we're trying to do to put ourselves out there and the change that we're trying to make.
Thanks, Jeremy. And that's a really cool story, because I don't know if any of you guys would call up Microsoft today, or if any of you guys would call up Google. She's shaking her head. If anyone's going to call up Apple, But these are the types of things that you guys have to do, and what we're trying to get across to you guys is that no one's stopping you guys from doing it. There's going to be those barriers that we were talking about, but it is as simple as picking up the phone and making that phone call. And we're speaking from experience up here, so a lot of the meetings that we've set with older people too, you know, we've gone as far as walking into someone's office because they aren't responding to our emails because of our age. So you guys have to take it a step further and be passionate about something and just realize that those barriers are only there for the people that believe they're there. And so what we're trying to do is called Heroes to You. And so one of the biggest barriers that, you know, we talk about is money and things like that. Well, one of the other things is status. And we talk about, you know, celebrity status and fame. And we feel so distant from these people that we admire and we inspire. And we idolize them as a group. And all of a sudden, they start to become these figures that we're never going to get to see. I mean, I grew up, you know, waiting in line at soccer games just to get soccer players' signatures. These are the types of people that you would go and wait in line at concerts for just to meet or a backstage pass. And what we want to do is we want to be able to connect you guys with those people. We want to be able to let you guys video chat with those people. And so, and just see on a personal level how, you know, human they really are. And you guys don't have to grow up in this world where you just fantasize about your role model or even your celebrity crush. You know, what we want to do is make a reality where, imagine picking out your phone and being able to video chat with Lady Gaga. Imagine being able to video chat with Steven Spielberg. You know, these are just random celebrities I'm throwing at you guys, but think of someone that when you guys were a kid, you sat in line and you waited for just to get a glimpse of who they are. Imagine living in a world where you guys can have a 30-minute conversation with them through a group video chat. Imagine being able to tweet questions at them and them having to respond right there and you guys are seeing it. We're building this with technology that we all use because we want to express to you guys that this is a reality. There's already celebrities doing video chats. Okay, and so the Dalai Lama, a couple, 10, 20 years ago, we would have never even been able to see the Dalai Lama. Now he's doing a video chat and people are connecting with him on a personal level. There's Barack Obama, there's Mark Cuban. These are just some of the examples of people that are already breaking down those barriers and connecting with their people that admire them. And we want to continue to do that. And ignoring barriers is what got Jeremy and I up here on this stage today. And using technology to follow our passion is what's going to keep us into tomorrow. And so what we want to do is bring you guys to this point, and we're launching Heroes to You soon. We've done 2 other businesses. We just got to say, keep moving forward. You know, chase your dreams. Don't believe in the barriers. They don't exist. Jeremy's going to finish now with a quote that really drives home what we want to share with you guys.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about what we're starting, what we're trying to do. And me and John are also just at the beginning. Like I was talking about, it all starts somewhere. You know, we have no idea where we're going to end up. We have no idea where this is going to take us or the next idea or the next thing we learn. But we wanted to leave you guys, because we were just sitting where you guys are, 6 months ago, a year ago. We had not started anything. We went home one day. We said, we got to just do something. Let's get it going. Let's get it started. But I want to leave you guys with a quote from someone who did do it their whole lives, the late Jobs. Again, seasoned entrepreneur that really drives home, I think, what we're trying to leave you guys with today. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the ones that see things different. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, you can disagree with them, you can glorify, you can vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They create things. They heal. They explore. They imagine. They inspire and they push the human race forward. Maybe they have to be crazy. Because it's the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world that are the ones that actually do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.